What is going on with my screen? Jesus, hold on.
What the hell? Go Bills.
Hold on.
The real deal jersey. Fuck
I know.
Chris. Me and my daughter, it cost me $300 to get these. So they better goddamn win the Super Bowl this year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see, right?
You bet. Yeah.
Hold on.
Are you
Pause
serious?
for the cause. Pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause. What's going on, folks? What's happening? I'm here. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
There he is.
Some weird thing that happened in OBS. I don't know. OBS fixed your shit. All right. Well, with that being said, welcome. It is Show Me the Money Club live Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm joined with Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, last year's MVP, 3-0. Unfortunately, they made it to number 2 in the power rankings this week. So I don't know what happened there because the Eagles are number 1 now. I don't know, but go Philly, I guess. But with that being said, we hit episode 175 today.
Woo, holy shit.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing. Can we just go from 175 to 200 so I can skip 25 weeks? Yeah. And just go right to out of winter? Because I don't want to deal with winter.
I'm with you on that one. Let's go 175, 200, 225, 250. You want to do that?
Yeah. No. Let's just go from 175 to 200 because then that way it skips like into March. So we bypass all of winter and I don't have to deal with that.
Okay. All right. All right, cool.
All right. Well, let's go into today's rundown. We'll go because we got quite a bit to talk about, as you can see if you're watching. We are going to be talking about Lyft adding more information to the upfront screen. We did talk about that a little bit on the last show, but there's a couple more things they added. We're also going to be talking about SB 371 is heading to Newsome's desk, but is it all a lie? Uber CEO sold 20% of his shares for about $30 million. Woo! That's a hell of a payday right there. Can I hear the money track backing up to me, please? If not, I got a couple of stories that I'm going to release very soon, Uber. With that being said, we're going to go on to the next thing. Are Lyft receipts shown to drivers matching what riders are actually paying? We also have Uber changing drivers' preferences again. What would you do when riders are eating pizza during the ride? And then also, should Uber's rider verification badge even be trusted? We're also going to be covering Lyft is joining Waymo in Nashville. The stock soars to its 52-week high. And then Uber dropped a little bit. CMT speeding explanation. Then we're going to be talking about funny and smart drivers, as well as our driver's corner, which is going to be the topic of AVs already hurting driver earnings, even in limited scale. So if you are in a market where these AVs are, hey, make sure you come on and talk about it. If not, we'll go over a couple of things that Sergio had written in an article and then go from there.
You bet. That's what we do.
Of course, behind the wheel.
Of course, behind the wheel. I need some candidates. Email me, sergio@therideshareguy.com. We'll hop on and record an interview and we'll put it on the channel. You can talk about anything you want. You don't have to be a veteran or a newbie, part-time or full-time. Just email me, say, I want to be on behind the wheel, and short paragraph of what do you even want to talk about. And I'll send you a Zoom link. We'll hop on, we'll record, and we'll do it. That's it. That's how fast this is.
Well, either way, it is fast, but it also has some great insights when it comes to different drivers, what they're doing, markets that they're in. And there's always some good little nuggets of what's going on and different ways of looking at it and doing it, because it's not just one size fits all. Everybody's doing it differently. Everybody's doing what they think is best for them. So, you know what?
Actually, Chris, this week I had a couple of emails from drivers who were like saying, this is the best day I've ever had with Uber last 3 years. One was from Tennessee. Another one was, I don't know where it was from, like $400, $600 days. Those are, there's still money to be made. By the way, this Show Me the Money, sponsored by Uber.
What? Since when?
Since whenever. That's what we're gonna
Okay.
do. We're gonna have Uber as our sponsor.
Where's that money truck then? It ain't backing up to me.
Beep, beep, beep.
All right. With that being said, let's move into our first topic, and that is Lyft adding some more upfront info. As I said, we did talk about this on last week when it came to the rider tipping, but there's also another thing which I think is actually more important than the tip percentage, and that is a rider is usually ready at pickup. And I think that is key because during certain times when it's real busy out there, Keith, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. 11 rides this week for 66.24, 9 tips for 29.73. Nice. How come Uber didn't steal more of the tips? Hey, be grateful. Be happy. $100. You got 11 rides, $100. There you go. Not too bad, not too shabby. But when it comes to riders usually ready at the pickup, I think that's great, especially during those key busy times, especially when you're trying to figure out how you're going to maneuver for that particular time frame. And so I think if you see something like rider is ready at pickup, that could actually have a pretty good impact on one, where they're going, so you can position yourself as well. But if it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I need a quick ride, and they're right there, they're ready to go, then that's even better, because then you can kind of plan, hey, this is going to actually be much more specific to the time that's expected on there. So let's say on the screenshot that's to the left, 3 minutes and 7 minutes, you got about a 10-minute window right there for that particular ride. So, it could be something where it's like, hey, this is a fast 18 minutes or 12 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever it might be for the ride. And if they're right there waiting, we're good to go, get that ride going. And, it may have a good impact on helping you strategize when it comes to accepting certain rides. Obviously, the tipping is great to know as well, too. But it's not always guaranteed. And then here's one of the things that might suck is you might say rider tips on 97% of the rides. But what happens if the rider doesn't tip you after that? That could be a little bit emotional distraughtness right there. You might be like, what the fuck, man? What did I do? But maybe the tip will come in, a week later or something. But either way, I think
a little letdown. If 97%, 97% tipped and you didn't get tipped, man, you either smell bad or your car is shit. I don't know what's going on. So no,
way,
these
I like that.
Yeah, I do. I like them both. I mean, you're not going to cherry pick because a rider has tipped 97% of the time. If it comes to you, obviously more of an incentive to pick it up. Now, we have to take all these numbers with a grain of salt. Okay.
Yeah, but I think when you see something like 97%, I mean, that's like out of 100 rides, that's 97 times they've tipped. That's the chances of you getting a tip. In this case, I know it was a $2 tip that was added to the ride, so you're making $7.17 for that same trip. So you know what, it probably is going to make it a little more worth it for you. I mean, $5.17 for 10 minutes it's not great. It's not horrible by any means.
No.
So you're still averaging $2 a mile right there, and that's including pickup pretty much. So it's a pretty good ride plus the tip. You're getting a tip, you're getting an extra $2, and it makes it even more worth it. So that information.
Look at that, Chris. Sally says I'm getting really close to saying I could do behind the wheel.
Still on
Do it.
Sally, come on.
I challenge you.
Come on.
Do it. Email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. We need more female drivers on behind the wheel. Yeah, I like both of these things. Now, I don't know how Lyft can say this rider is usually ready. So are they seeing that little avatar walking? Or
I don't know. Probably, well, let's be real. They track everything. So
no, I know that. I know, but
so
the car shows up, I say I have arrived, and then if I start the ride, let's say within 30 seconds, that means the rider is in the car.
They collect. That just shows you all the data points they collect. So if you have a data point that says that this passenger has, a wait time of 3 minutes and 45 seconds, that's their average wait time. Maybe sometimes there are 6 minutes until they're from when they arrived to when this trip starts. Sometimes they're there at the moment. So let's just say it's a 3 minute and 45. Yeah, they have all of that information that they're able to break down. So I'm sure that they can go through that. They probably put a thing that says if this person has under a minute or 30 seconds, I don't know what their threshold would be when it comes to riders usually ready at pickup. It might even be that you swipe "I have arrived" and you're hitting go because they're right there.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, that's what I'm
so
saying. Like, I don't know how they judge that, but also that notification is important for the driver, obviously. So if they
mhm.
say rider is usually ready, again, there's some opaqueness here, right? They don't say exactly what that means. Like, is it? We don't know,
Well,
but
I know on the
yeah,
left-hand screenshot because that was Joe's.
yeah,
He said he got a $2 trip on that. He's going to be talking about it on Saturday's video
yeah.
too.
Oh, he got
Um,
both of the not warnings, but
yeah, no,
hey,
and
heads
he
up.
covers that in the video. He says, yeah, he got a $2 tip on the ride, so he was one of the 97%. So good
Oh,
there.
he didn't
And
break
then
the streak.
and then the rider was ready. Like he pulls up, he was already there waiting for him. So that just goes to show you that it's probably um, I would say, I mean, we could probably try to talk to Lyft and figure out exactly what that means in terms of time to let everybody know. But I'm assuming that it's probably within a minute that when you hit the wait time to start trip,
It's
because
a good thing.
you still got to figure out who's coming to your car. You got to make sure that that's the right person. You also got to make sure that they get in the car. So I'm sure all of that is actually combined in.
Well, I think these are all efforts to increase acceptance rates, right?
Yeah,
Now,
and I think it's
if I
smart way
saw
of
if I
doing it.
saw that trip without those two, not warnings, but let's say heads up, right? Without those two, I think maybe solid 6, 8, 10 seconds to accept or not to accept, right? I would, in its own, I would probably accept the trip on the left, right? I
Mhm.
mean, about 30 active, right? 32 active, something like that.
Yep.
But once I see those, then I will definitely click accept immediately, literally. Yeah, I
Mhm.
wouldn't let it go.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
definitely takes those on the fence type of
smart,
rides and
smart,
can push it over.
smart.
Me, thank you. Lyft passenger paid 54.68. You got 51.37 Buffalo. Hey, right down the street from me. I'm in Buffalo too. Look at
Let's go
Sergio.
Bills.
Sergio right here. He's got
I
the
am.
Bills jersey on too. Because he just got
And,
that the other day.
it's Josh Allen's jersey, bro.
Yep.
It's the real jersey.
Um
Although I must say, I told them before, this is making me sweat like a whore in church. And these are all
Lee,
polyester, bro. I
send
understand now.
the receipt though to us so we can
Yeah,
see
it just
the
hasn't worked.
breakdown. I want to see what the external expenses are and uh, all that good stuff, and then how much Lyft paid out of pocket for your ride.
I think he asked. I think he asked what's my email. My email is sergio@therideshareguy.com. So send it to me. Let's take a
Yep.
look. All right. So Lyft, good job, Lyft. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna get pounded in a minute. Don't worry. But
Yeah. Don't
we
worry. Don't
start.
worry.
We start with a little hug.
Yeah, Lee, Sergio at therideshareguy.com.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So with that being said, let's move to our next topic, and that is SB 371, which we've talked about a couple of times through a couple of weeks. And that is, for those who don't know or don't recall, this is a way to try to reduce the commercial insurance coverage on rides when it comes to Uber and Lyft. What they can carry instead of $1 million policy, it brings it down to like 50,000, 100,000. Sergio, I know you know the
Yeah.
exacts,
No.
so
So
I'll let you
so
talk about that. But yeah,
this was a compromise done between AB 340, which gives the drivers with certain restrictions unionization rights. Not that drivers want to unionize. It belong to SEIU, basically Service Equipment International Union. But SB 371 was a bill that rideshare companies were spending heavily on to reduce the uninsured motorist and underinsured motorist coverage, which was $1 million up until this bill. This bill is going to reduce the personal side of that policy to 60,000 and 300,000 per occurrence. So it's a massive cut. I mean, we're going from $1 million to 60,000 to 300,000. You guys all need to be aware. This is in California. However, whatever happens in California, I'm pretty sure in all the high commercial insurance states, such as Florida and places like that, this will probably be pushed. But this was the gentleman, the senator or House member, I don't know, Cabaldon, bill to cut fares. Uber and Lyft is heading to Newsome. So this is what he thinks is going to happen. I am not sure if he studied this at all or he watches us at all. So senator, state senator, if you do watch it or get a hold of us, please, we would love you to come on and talk to us about this, because we would then make you aware of the hocus pocus, and none of this is going to happen. News to you, we'll break that to you, we'll explain it to you, because he said this will lead to a direct reduction in fares for Californians all over the state. We do have screenshots from the past, and then once this bill has passed and commercial insurance rates are reduced, let's see if Uber and Lyft are both going to follow their word, keep their word, and lower rider fares. That does not mean they're going to increase driver earnings or driver pay, with the exception of the Lyft CEO, David Risher, in Fortune magazine during an interview said, literally, we're going to save $200 million because of SB 371. And he's in it's public information. He clearly said we're going to pay our drivers more with those savings. Clearly, he said that. So be on the lookout, folks. You guys are my eyes and ears. You have screenshots from the past from Uber and Lyft. So let's say you do a 5-mile, 15-minute trip on Uber, and it paid you $6 before. Well, once they lower the rider fares, let's see if they change that. If they change the amount that the rider paid on the receipt. You guys have the availability to see the receipts. Compare it. It's an easy comparison. And on Lyft, we'll hold Mr. Risher to his word, saying that we're going to pay drivers more because of the $200 million in savings. So if Lyft is saving $200 million, Chris, and they're 25% of the market share in California, Uber is 75% market share. So extrapolating that number, I'm thinking Uber is going to save $600 million. That's going directly to their bottom line. That's why their stocks are going up. And let's see if they share the wealth with the riders in Uber's case, because that's what Uber has been saying. We're going to reduce fares. And in Lyft's case, let's see if they share the wealth with the drivers, because that's what David Risher said.
Yep. I like the comment here. My interest in carrying SB 371 was the lower fares for people who use rideshare for necessary transportation to their job, school, medical appointments. As we worked through the legislative process, it became clear that without addressing the needs of drivers, we would not be able to attract enough of them to meet demand, a shortage that is already contributing to higher fares. I'm happy to see the two bills joined as a benefit, both drivers and riders. Is there actually a driver shortage in California?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I agree with Daniel here. Why wouldn't they increase driver pay if this bill shifts the uninsured accident risk to the driver? 100% correct.
Yep.
The drivers are taking on more risk now, because before, if an uninsured or underinsured motorist hits you and it was their fault, the people in your car would have sued Uber because they know there's $1 million policy. Now there isn't. Now they may come after you if it's a major accident. So you guys need to be aware of what's going on, and they're definitely shifting the risk to the driver here. Yep.
Well, my suggestion is, and this is only a suggestion, I would talk it over with people who are much more well versed in this. My suggestion is open up an LLC and drive under that, and then make sure everything is in good standing and treat it as a complete business. And then that way, if there is a lawsuit, it goes after the LLC and what's within the LLC. It doesn't necessarily go after your assets, so you can protect it.
If you have assets, how many rideshare drivers
the other
have
side of the coin too is, will this potentially actually go after drivers? Because a lot of drivers don't really have that much extra capital where they could just pay out.
Absolutely,
so
yeah. But you're at risk. They can take
it.
Look, they can sue you for the remainder, right? Because they're not getting enough out of the policy. They can come after you. and they can get a judgment on you. And look, I don't want to be negative about this. Hope nothing happens, but make sure your T's are crossed and I's are dotted, because they are definitely shifting the risk. This is only on the uninsured motorist and underinsured motorist. So this is not your regular liability policy that still is at $1 million.
Now,
But
my question now, I wonder if they're going to introduce different types of gap coverage that could potentially allow you to keep certain thresholds that would be on you, and hopefully they do increase the driver pay in order to be able to offset something like that, where in the event something does happen, you're still protected and well protected. And then the other thing too, I would love to know is, I know that they were piloting, if you had your own commercial insurance, that they would pay X amount of dollars per mile when you have somebody in the car. What are they going to do with that? Because I have a feeling that goalpost is about to come to an end very quickly.
I don't know, but there are a lot of drivers I know in LA who are taking advantage of it. They're having amazing weeks on used Priuses and things like that. And they're making $2-3K a week in LA, which is unheard of, because there's $1 extra per P3 mile. And you accept everything, Chris, literally, right? You drive per each P3 mile, you get paid $1 extra. Well, drive, buddy, drive. And then if you drove an extra 1,000, not an extra, but 1,000 P3 miles, which is really not that much, that's an extra 1,000 a week. I mean, simple as that. So we'll see what happens. I hope that they don't end that. I think that's a great program. There is some quirks with it, but if you can get in it, anybody can get in it. You don't need to be driving TCP or black or higher tiers. You can have a 10-year-old Prius and get in that program. So,
and I think that's a great program, and I think that's something that they should have, because then that entire aspect just goes right to you to cover that policy, and you should be able to have the policy that you choose, because then you can choose the coverage amounts and types of things like that, where you don't have to worry if they cut it so deeply. You can still have the coverage that you are at and be able to be okay with that. So
and the commercial insurance you get is definitely going to be definitely going to be better. It's going to cover P1, P2, P3. Now you don't even have P1. This full commercial insurance. I mean, this will definitely better coverage than what Uber is providing you at any level. So I think, and probably with less deductible. So I think it's something every driver should look into. I mean, you automatically you're going to become a full-time driver, but then $1 extra per P3 mile is amazing. It's basically doubling you. If you're working for $1 a mile, now you're working for $2 a mile.
Yeah, I think it's good program, but again, for those who are taking advantage of that program, just be really careful coming up, because this law gets passed, this goes forward, and these numbers change. I have a feeling that they are going to say, oh, that $1 per mile is going to go down to 25 cents per mile, or hey, this program didn't work out the way we wanted it to, and we are going to provide our own insurance again, and completely bypassing that. So make sure you pay attention to those types of things, just in the event something does happen. But yeah, I think it's a great program for drivers to be able to take advantage of it if they want.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's move on. Sergio, let me ask you a question. Would you like a $30 million payday?
Huh?
Would you like a $30 million payday?
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
It's coming up.
Oh,
it's by November. By November, I'm getting it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. He Mr. Dara Khosrowshahi, he sold. I mean, look, I know I'm going to get an email from Uber, because last time I talked about this, that he did this last time, I got an email from our friend who has left Uber after that. They were all mad about it, saying that, no, these are all okay. I get it. Look, I'm in the business of finance. I have a finance channel, quote, go check it out. It's at Sergio Avedian on YouTube. I understand these things. I understand how these things take place. So these are pre-programmed sales. Okay. It's not like one morning Dara woke up and said, oh, I feel like selling $30 million worth of stock. It doesn't work like that. They're called 501Bs, if I'm not mistaken. They are pre-programmed sales. Okay. So although this amount of the sale was kind of surprising to me because not too many insiders, specifically CEOs, sell 20% of their holdings. They usually sell here and there because they have tax liabilities, a lot of vested shares. You know, they want divesting their own, holdings, obviously. So, but this was a massive sale, and so he sold 20% of his holdings, and at 3 different tranches or 3 different prices. I think they totaled 300,000 shares of Uber. And now, when you say they sold, he's not getting the 30 million out of this because there is an option exercise price. There is a vesting price. So it may be that, he was entitled to buy these shares at $30 a share, which I'm assuming somewhere in that range. It doesn't cover that. But every bank or every major brokerage house will work with Mr. Khosrowshahi because they will lend him the money to buy the shares at 30, immediately flip him and sell him at 94, 95, or the stock is at. Stock is about 98 now. So the shares were sold, and following the transactions, Dara Khosrowshahi directly now owns still 1.132,544,000 of Uber shares. Whew. And that equals times 95. That's another $100 million sitting in an account. And this is what happens when you're the CEO of a $250 billion global empire. And this is what happens when you are really good at screwing both sides of the marketplace and turn the company around to become a cash cow. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
wouldn't that be nice?
No, look, man, this happens at every company, by the way. This is not about Uber specific, but we talk about it because we're talking about Uber and Lyft here. Look, David Risher just got Lyft stock over 20. He's getting his first $100 million now under his $1 billion package. This is when he took over. His first tranche was at $20 and then at $30, at 40, all the way up to 70. So, look, they do what they do. They get it. This happens at every company. This happens at NVIDIA. This happens at Apple. This happens. We don't talk about it because this is not the channel for that. But when Uber and Lyft CEOs do it, we definitely talk about it. If you are interested in this kind of topic, you guys can go on Google this and just Google Uber insider sales, and then it will pop up a spreadsheet or some sort of a website that will show every single insider who's selling shares or who's buying shares. When Uber, it's been net sellers because the stock has done so well, and their options, RSUs, they call it, restricted stock units, are vested. And they sell and get money. This is, by the way, this is outside, above and beyond the salary that they collect, yearly salary. So it's nothing to do with salary. And this is not a bonus. They get RSUs and they flip it.
Yep. Must be nice.
Yeah. Oof. Well, there's only one Uber CEO, man.
Yeah. No. Let's see what happens. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Lyft. Lyft receipts. Oh, something's going on here. So give me 1 second to set this up. And
See, Lyft, we started with a hug.
How much you get paid for that, right?
All right, so just to set this up, this is a video coming in talking about what the rider paid. And then we're going to show you some screenshots of what the driver made and what was shown on the driver receipt. So listen up.
For this one, I think it's like 42.
No way.
How much are you?
No, I paid 102.
Holy shit.
No way. I was here thinking, oh, well.
So listen to that. She said she paid 102 right there.
No, I thought like it would help him like almost finish because he said his goal is 300. Like I think that's like a couple more airport rides.
Yeah, no.
That's 60%. That's insane.
By the way,
so your breakdown, you should sue. No, that's.
By the way, next they would have all these bonuses and stuff. So there would be like a geographic area where it'd be like a bonus zone.
Yeah.
Then you'd get like turbo times, which is like a percentage, and then you'd get like a surge on top of that. And then you'd be making like.
So it would add up a lot faster.
70 to 80% of the fare would be coming back to you. Plus, they used to do like this gamified like quest if you do a certain amount of trips.
Oh yeah.
In like the weekend. you would get like a $300 to $600 bonus, but essentially all of that went away.
They're robbing you.
Oh, they're robbing you.
But no, but we would pay that amount regardless. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I thought like a good percentage was. I was like, oh, he's almost at his goal. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Wow. Yeah, we paid 102, 27.
Yeah, so she says she paid 102 again. It's twice, right? All right, so that was the conversation that they had, which was essentially the two of them talking and saying, "Hey, what is going on here? You got cost us 102 for this ride," and he said he was making like 42 or something. We have the actual receipt, so you'll see that in just a moment. But then she goes, "Damn, that's 60%." So quick math right there shows, yes, absolutely right around 60%. So that's backed up. But what happens when those don't match, Sergio?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I emailed back and forth with this driver. At least that email string was about 8 to 10 long, because before I put these types of things up, Chris, I want to make sure that we're on this. Everybody's on the same page here, right? So the topic of this segment is what the rider paying. This is on not just Lyft's case, Uber's case as well. What the rider is paying, is it actually what they're showing on the receipt that the driver sees? That is the point of this segment. Now, I do not have a screenshot of her phone looking at it and saying, oh, I'm paying 102 for this, and you're making 42, okay? I mean, she said it twice, and she even said they're robbing you, and then he said, well, they're robbing you.
They're robbing you. No,
So,
you would have paid that regardless. No, you wouldn't have paid that regardless if these companies weren't trying to get their stock price a little bit higher, have more profits.
Well,
So,
the algo knew her very well, and they priced the trip for her at a price that she's willing to pay. In fact, she said that. She said, I would have paid regardless. So algo probably undercharged her, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But so here's the receipt. So you go through it, and this was a pickup this was in Denver, from the airport, out of the airport. So she said, I paid 102. Driver, I think, made a little bit more than that, about 46, something like that. But you go ahead.
So the upfront pay that the driver got was $46.13. Obviously, with a nice little toll there was the $12.50, which brings it up to the $58.63. So you still only actually really truly made $46 on that.
Well, the toll is he's paying out of pocket anyway, so I wouldn't even count that. So.
But that's what I'm saying. With the toll, he's only making the $46.13 out of that ride. Yeah. But let's go down a little bit to what the passenger payment was. Again, mind you, it said 102, but on here it says passenger payment was $89.77, and then it goes through the external fees, the commercial auto insurance taking out $792, taxes and government fees $370, Lyft fee is $32.02. Then don't forget about the tolls, $12.50. That's why it brings it up to $58.63. Even though the driver again really only made $46.13 because of the toll is a fee that you have to cover back anyways. So that's an external expense right there for drivers that actually get paid. So I'll look at it that way. And on top of it, he made an $8 bonus. So he really only made $38.13 plus an $8 bonus, which brought it up to the $46.13. But she said $102. That's about almost $13 more than what the Lyft receipt shows.
Well, the Lyft receipt that shows to the driver when the trip ends.
Yep.
So folks, so this is a case that we're going to look into, obviously. But if you're able to specifically get a shot or a picture of what the rider paid and it does not match your receipt on Uber or Lyft's case, If you're able to get those, please send them to me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. This is as close as we can come to, because I questioned this driver. I go, I mean, we don't have a screenshot of her phone. I said, yeah, I'm trying to play devil's advocate and also, benefit of the doubt. He goes, well, it was a 2-minute video that she said, well, I paid 102 twice. I mean, what else do you need? I go, listen, look, a rider is a rider. I don't see her phone. I mean, we have to take her word for it that she truly paid 102, and then Lyft is showing the driver 89. And last but not least on this issue, I also told them the good news, Chris, that under 70-30 hocus pocus, if he just did this single trip this week, he should be getting some money. He should be getting about another $6-7 out of it. Because if you look at the numbers, if you take the external expenses out, Lyft's $32 that they took, they literally got paid as much as the driver did before the what do you call it, the surge or bonus. And so if you look at that, those numbers, so 89.97, whatever the rider paid, take the $8 out, that's down to 81. Well, 70% of 81 is a lot higher than what this driver made. So he's going to get some money into his pocket if this was the only single trip he did under 70-30.
Pretty interesting. So what's the moral of this story, Sergio? Get the screenshots from the passenger and see what the passenger receipt is, and hopefully they line up, because if they don't, whoo. And you know what? The problem that we've seen with the external fees and estimated Lyft fee swapping and changing over the last several weeks, that could be something that maybe the passenger payment that shows on the driver receipt may not be accurate. You got to call into question these things at this point now. So yeah, if you have the ability to screenshot the rider receipt, or you have a conversation like that with your passenger, where they're like, holy crap, I can't believe that. And then, just say, hey, do you mind if I take a screenshot of your receipt when the ride is completed, so I can see, as long as Lyft is being accurate or Uber is being accurate. So then that way we can make sure that these companies are being accountable when it comes to their accounting on both sides of the marketplace.
I don't think they would do something like this, Chris, because this would be massive headache. This would be a massive headache. I'm talking massive. This would. I
will say the same thing. I don't think they would do it intentionally, but when you are allowing for, and I'm going to say this, I'm sure that they are using a lot of AI coding at this point right now, and a lot of the AI coding may not be as well vetted as a personal coder who may be looking at something, or they're putting in an algorithm that they may not have the most control over. And that is why we have seen the external fees and Lyft fee swap. Even though they said that the glitch is fixed, we've still seen it happening. So this could be a potentiality where it could have been into the algorithm through either AI code or code that wasn't necessarily true, or necessarily vetted properly. So that is a potentiality that I would have to, if both sides were true, meaning this Lyft receipt was true and the passenger was also correct. I'm going to take it at face value, what she said, what the driver supplied us. It could be some sort of coding that could actually be doing something like this, that was built in either, again, like I say, with AI coding, or that had unintended consequences, or something within their coding that maybe got cross-coded, and it could have caused some sort of issue within that. Either way, I think this is something where hopefully we emailed Lyft on and said, hey, what is going on with this? Because the passenger claimed that they paid 102. Is there some sort of discrepancy that's going on because of that? That's how I would approach this if I was talking to Lyft. I'd be like, look, we've already seen some issues with the external fees, the estimated fees being swapped. What's it to say that there could be an issue with the driver receipt versus the rider receipt, and trying to fix it before it actually becomes a true problem.
Yeah, I agree with this. And, again, we'll ask Lyft, obviously, what's going on here. But then I would have loved to see her phone or a picture of her phone where she's paying 102. Now, this could be tested easily by me. Let's say I take a trip, 5-8 mile trip. I know my receipt as a rider, then I can ask the driver what they're doing. Now, there's a bigger issue actually in all of this, Chris, which is in Colorado, there's a transparency law. Nowhere on that receipt, if you put that back up again, nowhere on that receipt I saw. So in Colorado, the transparency law requires the TNCs to show all the details of a trip. Like Uber has done really a better job than Lyft in Colorado, being more transparent, specifically even, I think even on the Uber's receipt. If you look at a trip from Colorado on Uber, it's quite well done, actually. In Lyft's case, there is information missing here. So, and each offense is punishable by $1,000. So Lyft, you need to fix a lot of things in Colorado, it looks like. So I'm hoping that this is not correct. And, I can do a few trips and figure it out. But look, this will be a major headache, even if it's a glitch, okay? Because we do get these glitches. And so anyway, but yeah. So if you do get this, folks, if you're able to talk to your rider, if you're able to, not by hearsay, not by word. I mean, we showed this, I was hesitant to even show this because I really don't have 100% proof what the rider paid. We're taking her word for it, saying I'm paying 102. Okay, it's close enough, I guess. But if you do talk to your rider and figure out what they paid, and you're able to maybe, take a picture with your phone of their phone showing what it says on the phone, what they paid. And then if it doesn't match, then we have proof. So yeah, that's where things are at. So by the way, do we have a moderator today? Here?
I don't know. But like I said, if anything, if they are both true, meaning passenger and driver are both accurate in what they had said, like I say, it could be code that got messed up.
Yeah, no, it's bad. That's breaking the law.
Like I say, if we've seen these switches between the external fees and the Lyft fee, time and time again, it does call into question the validity of the passenger payment, if that is still accurate compared to. So that's why I say this is something that that glitch that showed the differences could be built in as part of the same. So when it comes down to accounting, it becomes a big deal, because if you are saying, hey, look, this is, the passenger paid $89.77, all these fees are deducted, especially when it comes around tax time. But then when you get your 1099K or your yearly receipt, that could show the passenger payment of 102, and you'd be like, wait, what's going on here? There's a discrepancy. So it could be something, like I say, if it was true on both sides, everything was accurate, it could be bad code, and it could be a massive glitch. And I would say, Lyft, you got to look into this a little bit more and see what's going on, because this could be a massive headache for not only you, but for all the drivers when it comes to tax time, when it comes to accounting, when it comes to all of these types of things. So I would definitely look into this a lot more and take it very seriously right now, just in case.
For sure. So whoever has the wrench, by the way, it looks like Mr. Kaufman has the wrench. So whoever has the wrench, do not abuse it, overuse it, because somebody got timed out, like Jeff from Florida got timed out for some reason. So let's not go overboard, folks, using the wrench. I don't know how that guy ended up with the wrench, but anyway, because we didn't do it. I know you didn't do it. I know I didn't put him in timeout. So anyway, let's move on.
All right. With that being said, we are now going to be talking about Uber changing driving preferences, which I saw a lot of comments at the beginning of the show before it started. A lot of people were not too pleased with the driving preferences.
This is a big issue. I mean, look, this is from my own app, but this was the most popular email topic that I received this week. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I've had multiple dozens of these from all over the country. Serge, they killed this. Serge, they did that. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. And then I flipped my app on. Here it was. A simpler way, Chris. A simpler way to set your preference.
No. Not simpler.
Well, yeah, according to Fuber, it is simple way. Simple. It's simple now, folks. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So it says, hi, Sergio. We made updates to the Preferences Hub to simplify how trip types appear. Here's what you'll see, along with which trip types are included in each category. Now, folks, this is not new because they had done this. So we used to have a preference box, Chris, for everything like Uber pool now shared, right? Comfort and pet and whatever, right? So I know why they did this, by the way, right? Because Uber Green, Uber this, Uber Green Electric, we used to have a preference box for each one. So what did drivers do, Chris? And drivers could not keep their goddamn mouths shut. All over the YouTube, all over internet, they put out these Fight Club shit out there, So what did people do, Chris? What people did was, if you're in a surge area and you flip on Uber Pet or Uber Green Electric trips are very, very rare, okay, or Comfort Electric trips. So they keep the surge moving. Bro, people, shut the F up. People are listening. These people are watching. This is one of the reasons they're doing this. Number one. Now, UberX box will have UberX, Share, Green, Priority Comfort, and Comfort Electric under all one roof. Well, there you go. Uber XL will have Uber XL and Uber XXL. Black and Premier will have Black and Premier, and SUV will have Black SUV, Premier SUV. So, according to Uber, you still have control over which categories are turned on or off. Yes, we do. But now you put all that jambalaya in one box in the Uber X box. Well, maybe there are people who just want to do Comfort Electric Uber or Comfort Uber. How about that? Now, what's going to happen? Their acceptance rate are going to definitely tank because Uber is going to send every garbage share Uber X trip. And we know in some cities and states, acceptance rate is tied to Uber Pro. And
and Advantage Standard.
So what you guys need to, if you have look, man, if you're a driver, savvy driver, and you have like a Fight Club thing going on, you need to just zip it and shut the F up and don't share it with anyone. Make it your own trade secret. I still have a few. I will never say it on air. I won't even tell it to my brother if I had a brother. So anyway, turning on a category means you may receive requests from any trip type listed under it. No shit, Uber. Look at this thing. The whole list is there. Everybody's there. And now you guys are all going to get bombarded. So you want to do Comfort? Good luck. You're going to get Uber X Share trip one after the other. And then add-on services automatically turn their parent category. For example, if you turn on Uber Pet, Uber X will also turn on. There goes your trick, whoever you are. If you turn Uber on Black hourly, Black will also turn on. These changes do not change your eligibility. If your vehicle qualifies for Comfort or Black, Premier, you'll continue to receive those trips when category is on. No changes to delivery or other trip types. So this was the most popular email I got this week. A lot of people who drive EVs, right? They have Uber Green Electric, Comfort Electric. And they were like, oh, shit, they put it under Uber X. Yeah, because they don't want to actually get Uber X or Uber X Share trips. Well, now you're going to get it. And this brings to me, last sentence about this from me is, what the hell kind of independent contractor am I? There you go.
Well, you can still just not accept certain rides. If you see it come in as shared, you don't have to accept it, Sergio.
No, I don't.
You just let it go.
Yeah, sure. And it'll tank my AR. It's already tanked.
You know what?
And then not that advantage.
I'm gonna give every single person in chat a smart thing to do here.
Yeah.
If you don't want to take certain ride types, but have to because they're all lumped into one, and I'm speaking mostly about shared trips, or what the other ones. Maybe you want just Uber Pet and you don't want to take X. Well, you know what? When all these X requests come in, when all these shared requests come in, do not hit decline. Don't do it. Let the timer run out, because that's 10 seconds that has to wait. And if you get more and more drivers doing the same exact thing, maybe it bounces from driver to driver to driver, and then it's a couple of minutes. So that spinner time continues to spin. And hopefully, that'll do something there. But I always say, you know what? This is exactly what it's going to do. It's going to allow for passengers to have to wait longer, because drivers don't necessarily want to take particular ride types. And that is why they turned it off in their preferences in the first place.
Yeah.
So bundling it all together is just stupid on your part. And on top of that, if you want to bundle it together, you should probably, again, all the green stuff should be under one. That's fine. All the priority should be its own. Shared should probably be its own, because there's a lot of drivers I know that just don't want to take it. So, these types of things should be that. And then that way, yes, it helps keep that independent contractor a little bit not as murky as, maybe it is right now. But yeah, when it comes down to it, that's a real problem. And so, yeah, that's my advice to everybody is, when these types of rides come in that you don't want to take, don't hit the decline button, don't hit the X button, just let the timer run out and do its thing. But on top of that, be prepared that this is going to affect your AR. So if this is something that you want to go for Uber Pro, you want to be standard versus advantage, it's going to screw you. So yeah, Uber, congrats, good job, because now your national acceptance rate problem is going to go up.
It's going to get worse, right? So Lyft is doing things to help the low AR situation, right? By putting more good information, beneficial information on the app, on the ping screen, right? With the tipping and what the rider is usually ready and all that stuff. Uber goes, no. This may also show, Chris, that they may not have a shortage of drivers, which is pretty obvious, because by doing this, people are not going to... And also, you know what it does, Chris? It makes it difficult. You have to really now pay attention to every ping. Let's say you want to do Comfort Electric, right? Mm-hmm. You really have to pay attention to the screen if there's a Comfort Electric trip coming in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like this, then is a lot more unsafe now. Just I have to be glued for 10 seconds when the ping comes in, like a Pavlov's dog. I have to pay attention to what's going on every single ping. Now, and I'm going like, it's too much work, man. Too much work.
Now, there is one thing that I want to know. I do not have this update in my app. So I can turn Uber Pet on by itself. Uber X can stay off. Mm-hmm. You only have to have one preference on. If I want to just Uber Pet, I can turn off XL and X. So I can have just Uber Pet on. I know certain markets still have that. My question to everybody is, who may have this, that has now this new parent, co-parent, or whatever, parent category, whatever they want to call it, on. I'm curious, do you have this? Meaning, like, if you just turn on Uber Pet, it will turn on X as well, or you've gotten this simpler way for your preferences, email. Did you get this? And are you a market that has advantage versus standard? Because I know for a fact in Florida, where it's advantage versus standard, it's the same thing, because I got an email. I know in Boston, I think Matt was doing it. I believe advantage standard is there as well. So my question is this affecting advantage standard markets? And the question then becomes, why did they do that? And I have a feeling I know the reason why, but I'm curious. So again, everybody in chat, do you have, did you get something like this where, you got to have the parent category will turn on automatically, where everything's lumped together? And are you in an advantage versus standard, or are you not?
Yeah, look, this is not pleasant, obviously, but it is what it is. They rule. You play by their rules. This is the new rule that we have to, you can see it coming, right? Because they combined shared and X. It used to be separate. Now they're combining all this stuff together.
Yeah, they combined that a while ago. They combined Comfort and X a while ago. Priority was out for a little bit. That was one of the big changes, was priority. The green stuff, I'm not sure because I don't have an electric car or a green car, so never had access to that to begin with. So I had UberX and Comfort was tied together, and Uber XL and then Uber Pet were the categories that you could use for riding, or for your preferences. So
we adapt, we adjust.
okay, so you know what? That is kind of interesting. It seems like a lot of people are saying where this is happening is advantage in standard markets.
Yeah, they still have it in San Francisco and New Jersey. They have Pet and they have X. So,
well,
separate.
What I'm saying, huh? Well,
separately.
I mean, yeah, like Robert, you said New Jersey, yes. Guess what? Heiser won. Yes, in San Francisco, what? What does that mean? Like, you have advantage standard and these are coming in where you have the preferences? Because again, I really think that this is something to do with advantage versus standard. And it's probably because maybe they don't want to necessarily pay you the 5% more and they just wanted a 5% cut because why not?
Yeah. Well, but we know the 5% is bullshit anyway, so it's okay. Whatever.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a 5% pay cut.
Yeah.
So, all right. With that being said, yes, we understand the frustrations. Unfortunately, it is what it is right now. So hopefully, like I say, use my advice and just let the timer run out on the ride requests that you don't want instead of hitting the decline or the X button. And then that way, hopefully it'll send a message to them.
Yeah. Well, this proves over and over again. Jeff from Florida, Norma's tits, before he got kicked out by someone, it wasn't us, Jeff. So, it's not, we're not trampling your First Amendment right here. We really don't put anybody in timeout, and there have been a lot of deserving people to do so, but we don't do it. Long story short, he said two things. You have no control. This is it. Other than turning the app on or off, you have no control. Now you have no control over your preferences. Pretty soon, it'll be just one box. Just drive.
All right, so here we go. Yep. Forced to have X on if pet is enabled. Yes, standard advantage in San Fran. So yes, it does look like the markets that have advantage in standard are the markets affected with this change. If you don't have advantage in standard, it looks like you don't have preferences change. And I wonder why they did that. I'm sure we all can figure out the reason why, but I'm sure 5% does matter. 5% does matter.
If you're a full-time driver, it does.
You made before advantage standard comes in, they mark down your pay by 5%. So it's a 5% pay cut. You don't really earn more. You made what you used to.
Yeah.
And, we know these companies are greedy. So 5% to them is every nickel and dime that they can possibly get. So if they can try to actually keep that you in standard versus advantage, that 5% pay cut that you had,
5% ain't what you see it is. Don't think so. But we're going to test that anyway.
Think about it. Think about the millions of rides that are going on at any given time. 5% adds up.
We're going to test it anyway. Okay, let's go to the next one.
All right. So the next one is, something that was posted on the RSG Facebook, the Instagram page. And if you want to check that out, you can go there. There's a link in the description. Basically, it was a short video that was a driver kicking out. I don't have a screenshot. I don't know what happened to it. It's not in the slides for some reason, but I digress. So what ended up happening was two girls were in the back eating a pizza during the ride. So
not a slice. Not a slice.
No. Pizza box opens. They pull out the slices. They eat it. And the driver essentially kicks them out. So first off, Sergio, what would you do in that situation?
Wouldn't even get in the car. Let alone kick him out of the car. No food, no drinks in my car.
Well,
bottle of water is fine. No open containers, alcohol, none of that shit.
A pizza box contains the pizza pretty well. I carry pizza all the time when I go pick it up or bring it home. I used to drive at a pizzeria and deliver pizzas for many years.
Yeah.
You had the heat boxes though,
Yeah, yeah.
or I mean the heater things. Yeah, what would you do in that situation? You say you wouldn't let them in.
No.
I would take it a little bit different. I would say, hey, cool. I don't care. Pizza box put up front, because
I'll
it'll
take a slice. Yeah.
stay there. And if that opens up and you eat in the car, the ride's over. There's no food in the car. That's what I would do too. But at least they would get the ride versus picking up the pizza and getting screwed.
But this looked like a nighttime trip to start with, and these, look, you're eating greasy pizza for one reason. Obviously, you're hungry, but you also get the munchies. Maybe you just had a little bit too much to drink. Greasy food always covers that up. It's like people like eating greasy food after having one too many. And to me, accidents will happen in a car, right? I mean, cheese will slide off, and then if I have some seats, cloth seats, whatever.
Well, I mean, pizza's a handheld food. You're not going to be able to plate with a fork and knife on that thing. No, you're holding it by the hand. So if it's a greasy pizza, and let's face it, probably getting a greasy pizza at that point.
I mean, what happens if I break hard?
And then when you go and wipe it on the car or open up the door, everything's greasy now in your car. So that's why.
That's why you don't come in.
If you want to check out the video, go check it out over on the Instagram page. On RSG, links in the description so you can actually see what we're talking about because there's a video there. But the reality is, then I want to know, what would you do? So chat, put in the comments, what would you do in the event somebody gets in with pizza, tacos, food, whatever it might be? We've seen tacos, buffalo chicken wings. That's full of hot sauce and grease. So what would you do in those situations?
Yeah,
would you even let them in the car?
No food.
I mean, honestly, I let people with food in the car all the time, as long as it's in a bag or a box or something like that. The only thing is, because I mean, how many times do you pick up at a restaurant from people who are finishing dinner, but they don't finish the dinner because plates are
oh, that's fine.
So
doggy bag is fine. I don't care.
I mean, even a pizza's in a box. The pizza, when it's transported, as long as they're not eating the pizza during the ride, then isn't really a problem. I mean, how many times have you had a pizza box fall in your car and open up and have problems? Have you ever?
Chris,
I have never. And I've had thousands of pizzas in my car
but yours is in a warming bag and shit.
Yeah,
no, what I'm saying is that, like, you have a pizza.
If you have a regular box, it's not gonna open up. I mean, even because here's the thing: if you have the box, here's a smart move. First off, like I said, have it go in the front seat. Better yet, if they say, "Oh, come on, I want to have," say, "No, look, I'm sorry, there's no eating in my car, but I do have heated seats. I'll throw the heater on for your pizza, so it'll stay nice and warm. So when you get to where you're going, you got nice hot pizza. That way, it helps keep it out." But here's the other thing: when the pizza box opens, put that towards the back of the seat, because if it does fall forward, it won't open that way. Like, it won't go and open and then the pizza slides out. You do it the other way, where the pizza falls down and then it just falls right there.
Okay, personally speaking, in this instance, I think the driver was at fault to me. If you let him come in, first of all, with that, it's not like you don't see. It's a whole freaking pizza box, bro.
Yeah.
They walked in the fucking car with that. So, and then they casually opened it and started munching on it. And then the guy goes, "No, I can't do it." But he was already driving.
Yeah. So, I mean at that point,
look, man, nip it in the bud. No food in my car. Eat it out there. Then you can come in, or you cancel and then we move on.
I mean, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say, look, you can bring the pizza can't be. I don't care if you got food in the car. Pizza cannot be eaten in the car. No food's allowed. No food can be eaten in the car. Plain and simple. If they start eating it, at that point, you make it very clear at the beginning. I'm sorry, I don't allow pizza. The grease gets all over the place. I am not going to clean up. You will get a cleaning fee if that happens. We'll save each other money, time, all that good stuff. You got to make it where it's you're helping them out more than not, because you're in customer service. So you gotta make it where you're actually helping them, even though you are doing what you want. So then that way, it's not coming back at you and saying, "Oh, you're the asshole." No, I'm looking out for you, even though I don't want you doing that shit in my car.
Yeah. Plus, you know,
All
when
about
you're
perception.
eating, I'm not even sure these two ladies were buckled up either, by the way. But look, you go watch the video, make your own judgment, leave a comment. I agree with this. Sometimes there are sneaky ones, you know, they have some shit in their pockets, some like maybe sunflower seeds and stuff, and then they leave. There's like sunflower seeds everywhere. I'm like, what
Yep.
the frick?
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's a problem.
automatic 1 star. I 100% agree. Yeah, you're
Oh,
gonna
it's
get
customer
dinged.
service. No matter where you are, it's going to work. Don't tell me that bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll call you out on that. I'm sorry. It's all about how you present something. If you
Yeah.
want to be non-confrontational, that's how you have to do it. You got to do it where it's going to actually, you got to figure out how it's going to sound like it's going to benefit them over you trying to say, look, I don't allow that. If you're able to do that, you're going to have a much better response coming from these people.
Yeah. No,
It's
absolutely.
called,
Yeah, no, that part I
it's
agree.
plain and simple. I can't get any plainer or simpler on that.
And then you know, once you don't preempt it, right? And then that happened. What happened is that at the end of the video, they both got out. Actually, luckily, actually they didn't get out. They just, then he kept repeating, you know, I'm going to cancel the ride. You need to get out of the car. And then she lost her cool. And then, you know, there were f bombs were flying back and forth. I mean, shows class on
But
her
again,
part.
you gotta set the expectations right at the beginning. So if you see something like that, again, the easiest thing when it comes to that is say, hey, you know, you got the pizza box, why don't you throw it up front? I got the heated seat. If you don't have the heated seat, then you still don't have to. You can say, look, I'll keep it up front. It'll be right there. So in the event, you know, it won't fall or anything, it'll be protected. It'll be fine. And then, you know, because if it's in the back, if something happens, you know, this is where you could get charged a cleaning fee. And, you know, it's a headache for me, time out of my day to go get that cleaned or clean it up. You know, it's coming out of your pocket to pay for that. So, you know what, just throw the pizza right here. When you get home, you got a nice hot, fresh pizza. And it's all about being in the customer service. If you can't do that, or if you think you got a problem, you might be in the wrong business.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure she dinged him a 1 star and he dinged her 1 star, and then life will go on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, either way, there's a lot of different ways you can handle it. I find though that trying to do it where it's going to benefit them or find the benefit for them is going to be much better and more well received, especially right at the beginning, because you're setting that expectation. And once you set that expectation, if there is a fallout from that, that's 100% on them at that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, they have to be in moderation. You know, I mean, there's many ways. You know, my rules are: you can't bring open alcohol container, you know, those red cups or whatever in my car. You cannot smoke or vape in my car.
You know, if you're hungry and you see it's from a pizzeria you really like, you're like, oh, that pizza smells really good. You know, you want to eat that in here. You know, the cost is I can get a slice of pizza and then you can eat the pizza in here. Just saying.
Sharing is caring.
Pizza. It all depends on how you want to handle it, honestly. But
sharing is caring. Especially if I'm hungry and it smells good, I go like, you know, for a slice, I'll let you eat it. Otherwise, GTFO.
Either way, yeah, the biggest thing, I keep seeing people saying vape. Yes, that is the biggest pain in the ass because, yes, TOS, it is actually a violation of both Uber and Lyft's TOS to vape in a car. So, yeah, when people are doing it, sorry. Oh.
Yeah.
Goddamn right. I would love the free pizza.
Pizza.
Give me that pizza.
You just take a slice, give me the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, like in like certain sitcoms where they'll take like a little slice of pie and then they'll take it and put it on the plate and then they grab the whole rest of the pie or cake. That's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, oh, here's your slice, I get the rest. Thanks.
Thanks. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, man, you know, we endure a lot as drivers, so you know. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, you just got to think of these things. And then I always say, figure out the scenario or what type of scenario it might be in. And if you see yourself in that position or in that scenario, you already know what you would say or do. So then that way it's not like it's catching you off guard and you're like, oh, I don't know what to say, or I should have said something, but I didn't. You know, it's always about trying to pre-plan for these particular situations, because the reality is it's not just pizza. Like I said, it could be tacos. It could be
Oh no, that's bad.
something
Anything
else.
like the tacos or French
Subs.
fries, oily hands. Like no, not
Yeah,
doing it.
subs. Sub sandwich. Oh, damn. Hoagie, depending on where you are.
You must be hungry, Chris.
Yes, bocce. Bocce's good.
Yeah.
I prefer Picasso's, though. That's my go-to.
Anyway,
So if you're ever in Buffalo, Picasso's is good. The Nova on the west side is pretty good, too. Don't go to the one in Amherst. That one sucks compared to the west side. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our next topic, which is Uber rider verification badge. Do you trust it or not? Levi, if he's in here, I don't know if he is or not. I haven't seen him, but this came from his ex. So this is Levi's corner. Sorry, Matt, not your corner today. Levi's corner. Tip you in the app. This is 2 ride requests that came in. Notice something very unique about this. It's the exact same trip, and it is the exact same pickup, the same drop off, same multiple stops, same passenger rating. Different prices though. One you're getting a little bit more on, another 40 cents on. Plus there's a little thing in there called the verified badge, but there wasn't on the first one.
The one you're getting more on, by the way, is 0.2 of a mile closer.
Yeah.
But the key on this one is Levi has a good point here. He says, I don't trust verified passenger accounts now. Exclamation point. These offers came back to back within seconds. Note how the addresses and the passenger rating are exact same. The only thing that changed was verified was added. The 1447 was offered first, the one on the left. Then exactly 11 seconds later, the price increased, even though the pickup is 0.2 of a mile shorter, but the time of the pickup did not change. So we don't believe those things anyway. So this is a multiple stop trip. This is an automatic decline for me, verified or not verified, but there's a good point here. Like, it's pretty obvious, the same passenger. And why verified shows? So does that make it like more palatable? 40 cents? No, about 38 cents more, and a verified badge. I don't think it makes it more palatable. Verified. I'm telling you, bro, everybody is pretty much verified now. Although it did stop those fake names and stuff. It really did.
Yeah.
It took them a while, but it really, I don't see any of those anymore. I don't even get emails. In the old days, I used to get like 2-3 a week. Look at this name, look at that name. And then once the verified thing came on Lyft and Uber, I don't get them anymore. So in that sense, it's working. Verified in that sense. In this sense, what's happening, Uber? Should we believe that verified badge? Because this is obviously the same passenger. What say you folks? What say you folks? Do you buy the verified badge?
No.
Okay.
I can slap that sticker on anything. Just like I could slap UberX on an UberX cash trip.
Yeah. Wow, that's I have questions about the Uber Cash thing too, by the way. So you have to be a verified passenger to be able to do Uber Cash trips as a rider.
But what happens when the verified badge might not mean anything, like we see right here?
That's why I'm getting to. So if it doesn't mean anything,
it's an
Uber
edge case.
slaps on verified and sends you a cash trip from someone who's not verified. Have you guys seen this before? If you guys do see it, please send them to me, the screenshots, just like Levi did side by side with a little comment.
You know what pisses me off on this? It's another freaking thing that we have to watch out for.
Yeah. That's what they keep us. They keep us busy.
Gainfully employed for the time being.
That may end shortly. But this thing here is Uber. Take a screenshot of this Uber. This shouldn't be happening.
Run it through your AI. Figure out the trip. What happened? We expect a full write-up on what's going on.
Yeah, send me an email, Uber, because I don't want to send this to you anymore. I don't even want to send things to you guys anymore. We'll just talk about it. You guys catch it, fix it in the back end. It's too much work for me. Too much work without getting paid. I don't want to play free Uber, Lyft support. I don't want to do any of this stuff.
I mean, we already know you're recording the show, so go ahead.
Yeah, just watch it, just like everybody else is. Take a screenshot, check out what happened, send me an email. You know who your people are. Send me an email saying, "Oh, Serge, this is what happened. It was a glitch, momentary glitch, Serge." All right, cool.
Yep. Yeah. Always a glitch. Always chalk it up to that. Nothing else. I want a full report on why it happened. I want the actual coding on why it popped up on the one, not the other. Saying it was a glitch, trust us, is not good enough for me anymore. I want an actual write-up with the coding on why, or the code breakdown of the coding on that, because I will run it and I will verify too.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I'm a verified writer
to be able to do that. So don't you worry about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Levi takes things seriously. Levi is not like us, right? He doesn't bash. He's very balanced and things like that.
Oh, I'm not bashing. I want to know. I'd like to know the reason.
No, they should get bashed.
The same thing with Lyft. I'll say the same exact thing on the Lyft. Well, I want a full breakdown on the so-called glitch that is fixed from the external fees and the estimated fee.
It's fair.
I want a full breakdown, full code breakdown of that, so we can run it through and verify what's going on. I got the resources to be able to do that. I can do it very quickly.
Well, look, it's fair. What we're saying is fair. You know, we never say things that we don't have proof over on. We don't, we don't do conspiracy theories. We don't do it. We back it up with screenshots. It's logical. It makes sense.
Wait. When we're like, oh, what is conspiracy? We'll be like, oh, what if
No, but I'm just saying, when it comes to Uber and Lyft, we try to stay as straight up as possible. And every segment that we put on takes time and thought, and
back up.
But when the picture's worth 1,000 words, like the same trip, within 11 seconds later, a verified badge shows up out of the blue.
Yeah.
Or it could be vice versa. A verified badge shows up on the first one, and then it disappears on the second one. What's happening? Now Uber can say, "Oh, they're not the same. Same people, same trip. Looks the same."
Stuff you can easily get that online.
It could be they're going to say there are two different people there at the same address, ordering at the same exact time.
Yeah, and they both
the exact same second,
and they both have the same multiple stops, and they both have the same 4.95 driver rating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I mean, it's an excuse.
Oh,
anyway.
Side note, you know what? Since we were talking about all this pizza, and I know there's people in Buffalo who are watching right now, I think what we need to do is, as I saw, I think it was who wrote it? Steph, I think, said pizza party next week. I think we should have the people in Buffalo join together somewhere at a pizzeria and do the show live from there.
Yeah, you all wear your Bills jerseys and do it.
That'd be awesome.
If Harry paid for it, I'd do it in LA. We get 100 drivers. I think
Harry can put $20 towards a pizza. Oh, I'm sorry, $35 now with inflation.
Yeah, pizza. No, actually, good pizza in LA does exist. There is good pizza in LA.
Yeah,
but you have to travel for it.
But either way, I think that's good.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Wait a minute, you're a Broncos fan in Buffalo? Fail.
Okay, next week, if I'm gonna wear this, by the way, you need to wear yours.
Okay, I'll wear mine. I could go get mine now.
Well, go, because no, not from the start. If I'm gonna wear it and sweat my ass off in this thing, you need to wear it too. Well, once a month we should do it. Or how about this? After each win, the next show, we wear it. How about that? That's a good deal.
I'm good with that.
It could be that every week we're gonna wear it.
Maybe.
Well, hopefully, not maybe, hopefully, right? Because if we keep wearing it every week,
that would be the hope. Yes.
Winning. So anyway, all right, cool. All
right. With that being said, let's move on. Let's talk about Lyft joining Waymo, and stock soars to its 52-week high. The same flip side, Uber's stock had dropped a little bit on the same announcement. So, hey, Lyft.
Well, Uber is not short of miracles. Uber just hit $100 actually. But
oh yeah, you knew it was going to rebound.
yeah. And so Lyft and Waymo, this is a big deal for Lyft. In fact, that morning stock popped about 20+%, and then it pulled back now. But again, shameless plug. I do have a finance YouTube channel. If you're interested in this kind of topic, finance, trading, investing, whatever, without it being investing or trading advice, you guys will learn quite a bit. It's free. And breaking news, by the end of this week, I should have a beautiful, beautiful educational, informational website starting probably by the end of the week under my name, sergioavidian.com, where you can subscribe and get free newsletters about finance, about trading, about investing, about macroeconomics, about why inflation is ripping you off, about why the government's gaslighting you, about all these good things. It will be on the website, but it's not up yet, but it'll be up shortly. So you guys, I'll announce that. So this was a big deal for Lyft. And it seems like Waymo is spreading the love. Waymo has a deal in Austin with Uber, an exclusive deal in Atlanta with Uber. And now they're spreading the word, but there is a bigger picture or bigger, I don't know, goal why Waymo is doing. As we all know, Lyft runs literally, actually, that's their cars. Lyft runs about 25,000 cars. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Mike. They have a 25,000 car fleet, Chris, under Lyft Flex Drive, and they have been managing them for years. So they do have massive amount of experience, where Waymos could be cleaned up, taken care of, charged, whatever, by Lyft. And Lyft is actually looking to establish spots in Nashville, but they do have a department that runs Lyft Flex, and they're very experienced in fleet management. So Waymo saw that and said, "Oh, why do we have to go far?" Because Uber is doing it with Move, with a company from overseas, actually. But Waymo chose Lyft. So Waymo actually could be choosing Lyft because most of these autonomous vehicles, as we all know, they're going to be in fleets. I'm going to own a fleet. Without a question, I'm going to own a fleet. I don't know how big of a fleet, but I'm definitely going to own a fleet. And then you go to Lyft or you go to third parties for these cars when they're low on battery. They go there by themselves, obviously. They get charged, cleaned, and then get back out on the road again to make you money. And but Lyft, I think Lyft has the total package in this. What Uber is trying, so Waymo did that. And so, folks, this is about actually, Chris, a great article of mine came out. I got a bunch of emails. Rideshare driving equals financial independence. Is it? ? It's on our blog. It dropped late yesterday. Please go check it out. There's great advice in there for you folks who are looking to get into investing and all these other things, how you can pivot out of this rat race that we're all in, because it may be time, like Mike said. So when David Richard took over Lyft stock was $9 a share. And that was about a year and a half ago. Well, 2 years ago now, actually. Yeah, about 2 years and a couple of months ago. So you hate the man, you love the man, you hate the company, you don't like the company, whatever it is. When it comes to investing, you don't worry about personal issues. Okay? You sell, you buy, whatever it is. But if you thought a management change is a good thing, and you bought Lyft stock, let's say, at $9 a share, today it's at 23. It was as high as 27, but that's like a double and change, double and a half in 2 years and a few months. That's 50-60%. Nowhere on the planet you're going to get that. And this is an industry that I'm not going telling you to buy NVIDIA. I'm not going telling you to trade Apple and whatever, AMD or whatever. This is an industry When Uber introduced upfront fares, stock was $23 a share. If you drove with upfront fares, you knew what was coming. You could tell. If you have $2 worth of brains, you could figure it out. Buy Uber at $25 a share. It's a quadruple in 3 years. So I'm not saying go sleep with the enemy, but at some point you have to forget all this stuff and you have to look out for yourself. How you create financial independence? Do it. There's no shame in owning Lyft. There's no shame in owning Uber stock. A lot of people say, "Oh, I hate that company." I'm like, well, you would have been a lot better off.
I mean, people also complain. Like Joe just put out a video on Play Octopus, and he said he made $225 in extra income. Oh, $225, nothing
That's
for a
typical.
year. Come on, for a year. Like, dude, would you like to make $225 extra? I mean, like, that can go for a couple of tanks of gas right there. That is just in extra income because you're being smarter.
If they took that
Surface level
225,
thinking here.
Chris, that's
Surface
20
level
bucks a
thinking.
month.
That's it.
Bro, that's $20 a month. If they took that $20 a month and DCA'd into Bitcoin or DCA'd into Ethereum or DCA'd into Nvidia or DCA'd into anything, that money would have been double already. So people have this short-sighted commentary that they're stuck in this bubble.
But also surface
I hate
level.
this. I hate this. I hate this. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, no problem.
Yeah, surface level thinking. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
When you start looking at complexity, there you go.
Go check that article out. It dropped yesterday. I mean, I'll probably read some of the comments on the articles are dropping. They're actually a lot more engagement, Chris. I'm getting a bunch of emails saying, "Oh, this is great, this, that."
Nice.
So I'm writing a lot more. Please go check it out on our newsletter, free. See, it's free. You have nothing to complain about that one. Okay, just go to www.therideshareguy.com. Read it.
Hold on.
It's like a
I gotta chime in on this. I know Jeff and Mike are going at it. How about this? Don't buy a latte from Starbucks. You know what you can do instead? Take the money that you would have and then just invest into Starbucks stock, get the dividend, reinvest that, and not too shabby.
You just invest, man. Invest. The government's not going to be your savior. Your mother's not going to be your savior. Nobody's going to be your savior except you. And that's what I do on the other channel. You need to invest at whatever age, wherever you are, however you are. You need to save. You need to invest to keep pace with inflation. You must invest because 6 or 7% of your money is dead every year, every single year. So, and then you go like, oh, I can't, my buying power down 30% last 5 years. Yeah, you need to invest. That's it. Invest in hard assets. Don't slave harder. All right.
All right. With that being said, let's move on. Let's talk about the CMT speeding explanation.
Yeah, we have like an update on this. So we did a segment maybe a month ago. So I was getting a lot of these emails, Chris, from drivers saying that Uber sending me speeding warnings, but I'm not speeding. Okay. So we did a segment and CMT watched that segment and they came back to us. They said, no, this is not coming from us. There are many other reasons for that could be happening. We don't ding drivers unless certain things happen under CMT. So we're going to go through that quickly, do a segment. So CMT, so first of all, CMT says that the warnings you're getting are not from CMT. You're getting it from Uber, and it may be due to the fact that you may have that thing toggled on to show you your speed, right? And I have it toggled on actually, like it picks up the speed limit. But a lot of drivers were telling me, and I asked this to CMT directly. A lot of people were telling me like, oh, there's a lot of bridges and CMT's database is not picking up the correct posted speed limits, and they're dinging me for speeding. Not so. So not pay attention, folks, because I'm going to read this once and one only. CMT uses contextual speeding to identify speeding events versus posted speed limits. The posted speed limits are in the Uber app. Like when you're driving, there's a little icon on the lower left-hand corner. If you speed up too much, it goes from black to red. That means you're speeding. So again, I'm going to read this again, and we're going to go a little bit in detail here. CMT uses contextual speeding to identify speeding events versus posted speed limits. Could we possibly make an explainer video on this, which we're doing it right now? Here's a definition of CMT's contextual speeding. Listen up. A speeding event will be recorded only when two conditions are met simultaneously. A, You drive faster than 85% of drivers on a road segment based on historical speed data. And B, your speed is higher than the posted speed limit on a road segment by a threshold of 9 miles per hour or more for at least 5 seconds. So CMT is, working with Uber. They're getting all this data from your phone. The threshold increases to 12 miles an hour when the posted speed limit is 55 miles or higher. Contextual speeding, folks. This is how speeding is defined in Uber's help page. Speeding. This behavior is triggered when your vehicle is moving faster than other vehicles typically move at your current location. So they have the history of traffic flow of traffic data. And if you're above that, that's when Uber dings you. Drivers might be conflating the speed limit alert feature that is controlled by Uber with CMT speeding detection with CMT driving insights. The good thing is that the Uber speeding alert is optional and drivers have control over it via toggle in the app. I agree. So we go to the next one. This is what I received from CMT. Posted speed limits aren't always reliable for measuring speed. Doesn't reflect flow of traffic. Can be wrong up to 10% of the time. And this is what a lot of drivers were telling me. But now that it's contextual speed, okay, CMT uses contextual speed in Uber driving insights, which is in your app now. Speed relative to the flow of traffic. What qualifies as speeding? I read that. Driving faster than 85% of drivers on a road segment based on historical data and driving 9+ miles over the posted limit for more than 5 seconds or 12 miles if it's 55 miles or more. And on the next screenshot, here's an example. Unlike map speeding limits, which can be outdated, contextual speed captures the dynamics drivers actually face on a road. So contextual speed, again, is flow of traffic. If you're going faster than that for a certain amount of time, you're going to get dinged. Posted speed limit, and this is on the freeway. The car on the left, as you guys can see on the screenshot, is going 75 miles. That car is speeding because posted speed limit is 55. Flow of traffic is 65. And car 2 is going 63 miles an hour, not speeding. So this hopefully will clarify all of that for you guys. And this is actually Daniel.
You know what I heard right there?
What'd you hear?
CMT is throwing Uber under the bus.
Well,
it ain't our fault. It's Uber's fault for putting that out there.
No, my understanding was that CMT, from all the driver emails I had received, saying that, especially on bridges and things, CMT's database is old, but CMT doesn't even use posted speed limits when it comes to these situations. They use contextual speeding. So I'm still waiting to be able to opt out of CMT. Daniel, I would like you to send me an email, which I will send, because now that I'm dealing with CMT as well, I would like to send one of the top folks at CMT your request, and let's see what they come up with, because I don't have your answer. Cambridge Telematics says that all of their programs are supposed to be voluntary. I guess Uber can get companies to turn their back on their values. Look, I don't want to say anything good or bad about any of this. All I'm saying is I don't want to get caught in the middle, number one. Number two, send me an email explaining yourself. I know you have done it before, but I don't want to dig it. Send me an email. I will send it to some top person at CMT, and they will get in touch with you if you're allowed to opt out or not. Okay, there you go, Lelius. Lelius says, I get the speeding events all the time, but my CMT score is 97. There you go. Okay, cool.
All right. Well, let's move on and let's talk about some funnies.
Yeah, this is funny. This is funny. Look, okay, so folks, just pay attention to the driver's left arm tattoo.
Decline and recline.
Decline and recline. You gotta love that. I mean, that may be AI generated, probably, but
that is definitely.
Yeah, that is definitely AI generated. But okay, so this is what you guys need to do, even with the preferences commingled now, all in one. You're gonna do more of this now, more decline and recline. I thought that was funny. And this driver on the right Hey, look what he has. Look at all those screens. On the top screen, it's me doing Trading with Sergio Monday and Wednesday or Power Hour on Friday. And on the bottom, he has this screen open with charts. He's learning. He's learning. He's improving.
I find it interesting, though, because it's at night.
Well, maybe replay.
Huh?
Replay.
Oh, the replay, but the charts don't add. Don't
Oh,
line
no,
up.
there's on futures, there's 24-hour trading.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, this driver
That
is
looks midday.
looking out for himself and pivoting and doing something that's going to help him tremendously in the future. So there you go.
Either way, kind of funny there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move to our driver's corner. First off, we will post the link right now in the chat. So if you'd like to come on, we are only going to take 2 or 3 drivers to talk about it real quick. First off, if you are in a market that has AVs rolled out or rolling out in your area, we'd like to have you come on more so. But if you have some good insights or something, and they're not necessarily in your market, you can come on as well too. So the link is going out right now. And we're going to be
talking. Come on, make sure you're in a quiet place with good internet reception, hopefully. So I wrote this article about 3 weeks ago with analytics we received from Gridwise, and I talked to Ryan Green last week on the show about their findings, and their findings go from July 2024 to July 2025, and things have gotten worse because I've interviewed Eddie, great driver veteran driver with 50,000 trips from Austin, Texas. He said his business is dead. So I wrote about this. New data shows AVs are cutting into rideshare driver pay. You know, Chris, a lot of people said, some commentary was like, no shit, Sherlock. See, I ignore all those knuckleheads because when you're talking to the companies go, do you have data? Because we have data. And I go, yeah, I have data coming from Gridwise with millions and millions of data points. So for each knucklehead who said, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, I'm like, do you have data backing it up? Do you write an article that's coherent and proves the point that even with limited scale, your earnings are about to get trashed and you should not be looking at the end of the tunnel for that light and thinking it's the exit of the tunnel, it's the train coming at you. So you better get your ass in gear and start doing something else maybe, or start training yourself for something else or pivoting. Although I do see a lot of comments, Chris, that the drivers are absolutely not concerned about autonomous vehicles taking away business. So I wrote this article with Gridwise data. Gridwise report looks at how the commercial operation AVs across major U.S. cities, specifically San Francisco, LA, Austin, Phoenix, and all. So if you're in one of these cities, come on up. Let's see what your experience is since Waymo showed up. It's mostly Waymos, but now Tesla's is coming as well. Here's the first graph. Earnings on the decline, especially in AV markets. Human drivers in markets where autonomous vehicles are in play are earning less. Hourly wages have dropped year over year, July 2024 to 2025, across all 4 cities that Waymos exist in very, very limited scale, by the way. So according to Gridwise's data, 6.9% in San Francisco, down, 5.3% down in Austin, 4.7% down in LA, and 3.8% down. So you go get that standard versus advantage 5%. That's not going to cut it. So AVs are coming for you guys. AVs are coming, and your earnings are going to decline. And not only it declined by the hour, incentives are being reduced because these AVs are taking the trips, and there are still millions of drivers out there, and the company's going like, we don't have to put out shit when it comes to Quest or ride challenges. Look at these numbers, Chris. Read them and weep. Driver incentives are dropping nationwide year over year, especially in Phoenix and LA. Nationwide per trip incentive spending plunged 47%, Chris. But this was even more pronounced in certain AV cities like LA and Phoenix at 64% decline. So Uber and Lyft are saying, F the driver. We don't have to put out ride challenges. We don't have to put out boost. We don't have to put out, quests, because there's so many drivers at every corner. We'll just cut those out. And when they do cut those, do you think they cut the rider fare? No. Do you think that 47 to 64% money that they were going to put out as incentives for drivers, where does that go? Directly into the bottom line. That's why their stock is 100 in one case and 23 on the other case. You guys got to fucking start thinking. Adapt and adjust. Next slide, and then we'll have you guys come on. Not on top of that, utilization rates present a mixed picture. Driver utilization rates, the percentage of time spent with passengers versus waiting, also dipped in two AV markets, down 8.6% in LA. That's actually a lot. And 3.1% in San Francisco. Nationwide utilization dropped 2.9%. It goes to show we have a flood of drivers. But Austin and Phoenix bucked the trend with modest positive gains. That could be seasonality because, you know, summer is almost over. Everybody's back to those cities. There's massive seasonality because of the heat in Austin and Phoenix. So all metrics that Gridwise looked into, dollars per trip, dollars per hour, utilization rate, you know, incentives, this way, because AV showed up. There's only 100 AVs in Austin, by the way, Waymos. There's maybe 200-300 in San Francisco. There's maybe 300-400 in LA. It's already cutting into drivers' earnings with a geofenced area, and they can even pick up at airports yet. You guys need to get your shits together and start paying attention to what's happening. And now that Waymo is testing in Seattle, not testing, they're going in rainy cities, Denver as well, snowy city. Well,
I can't wait.
Well, yeah, we have good people in Seattle and or Washington State and Denver, so we're going to get some good footage out of that. But what I'm saying, folks, is nobody is going to look out for you. Although Lyft is attempting because they put something together called autonomous AV panel or AV whatever, you know, which they did not include me, which I said, you know, you should include me in this. Because I have some good thoughts about this. So we can all be part of this. We can all have skin in this game, or we can cry and moan when our utilization rates go down, earnings go down, as if they were great anyway, because these autonomous vehicles are fed by Uber algorithm and Lyft algorithm. That's going to give them the trips first, as opposed to giving you the trip. And that's why Austin earnings are down a lot more. And we're going to keep in touch with Gridwise, and we're going to keep updating these articles, but AVs are definitely hurting driver earnings. So who's coming on?
I don't know.
Okay, folks, this is your chance. We put the freaking link up there. If you're in San Francisco, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Austin, and you know, on these 5 cities, grab the link. Come on, tell us about your experience, how your earnings were before, pre-Waymos, and after Waymos. Now Tesla is testing in San Francisco. Tesla is testing with a much larger geofence than Waymo's in Austin. You know, you're getting the double whammy. Please come on and talk to us about it for a few minutes. If you don't, we're going to end the show.
And then we can get pizza. I don't know. I like that idea, though. Maybe I'll get
is it true Waymo can drive on the freeway? No, they're testing freeways too right now. They're actually San Jose and San Francisco International, they're testing to pick up at airports. They're doing it in the Bay Area first. That's going to be major trouble because a lot of drivers are still surviving, like in Austin, that they cannot drop off or pick up at Austin Airport. Well, now they're going to get it. And then now you guys are going to be in bigger trouble because that's the bread and butter trip for a lot of drivers. Yeah. So anybody want to come on?
No, we can just talk football then.
But, bro, I put all this work into this. You know what I'm saying? And we did the survey. Only 31% of drivers thought AVs were trouble.
Well, hold on. Let's put that into context because 31%. Unfortunately, that's a skewed statistic because the 31% could be localized to the areas that actually have AVs that are currently being undercutted right now. While the rest of the country is not worrying about it because they're not even, you know, in their area or announced in the area yet or anything like that. So they might have a much different observation when it comes down to it. So yeah, somebody in LA, somebody in San Francisco, somebody in Phoenix, somebody even now in Denver or Seattle or something, they might have a different thought process than, you know, somebody in Cleveland or somebody in St. Louis or somebody in, you know, driving out in Montana. They're going to have a much different perception because they're not going to see them come in.
I can put the link up, buddy. Okay, so this guy says, I think robotaxis are a fad. You're dreaming, Raphael. They're literally dreaming. Like you're just.
I wish they were a fad because I don't like them. I read, you know, the only driverless car that I actually ever, I did the Lyft Active when I was in Vegas, but they had two drivers, or they had two people in the front. They had the driver,
Those days are over.
and then
It's
they
right
had
there, bro, right there
and then
on the
they had the
bottom.
person who was like looking at everything. Dude, the link is literally just above what you just posted.
Okay, here we go again. I'm gonna post just the link for frick's sake. There it is, just a link right there. Right there. There's just a link. Okay, you get confused with all the paragraphs. So, I mean, seriously. I mean, no, you don't have to thank me. And I'm in the boat as you are, but I'm trying to put stuff together that we can have skin in the game. Why can't drivers own their own fleets? Why not? Why can't we just call Uber and say, hey, I have 100 cars I want to put on your network? They go, oh, come on down. I mean, I'm working on it. It's going to take a while, but I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? Look, Waymos are taking all the short, used to be Surge for you guys, was short trips with Surge are the best trips for drivers. Okay? Done.
All right, we got Paul on. Paul, how's it going?
Good, man. Let me turn the TV one off.
Paul, are you in bed, Paul?
Oh, it's Terrible Tuesdays. So he's like, I'm done. I ain't driving. I'm hanging with Sergio and Chris.
He's not doing anything at the moment.
I was thinking about pizza. I don't know. Paul, what happened? He ain't there.
Kick him out. Come back on. Make sure your internet is good. We said that. Yeah, Daniel, I wish they knew. I wish they understand.
I don't want robo-taxis.
You don't have to. You're going to be one in a million.
I want to drive my own car.
Okay,
I want to be able to just roll down the windows, listen to some music, and enjoy.
All right, that's fine.
Paul, how's it going?
What's up, Paul?
You there, Paul?
Good, man. How you guys doing, buddy?
Good. How's it going? All right. So what market are you in?
My connection's not the greatest, but I'm here.
All right. What market are you in?
Good. So I'm in Sacramento.
Okay. So
Sacramento.
You don't have them yet. They're probably coming. But what do you think about AVs?
They're coming. I don't know. I guess they're coming. I know I still wouldn't take one. I would prefer a human driver, but that's just me.
Same here. I'm right there with you.
That makes two of you out of 250,000 trips Waymo's doing. But it's okay. I'll go.
I don't know how they're doing so many trips. These people are crazy.
I have very solid, well, not information, but facts. Okay, the trips on the Waymo network are exploding. Okay, they have actually surpassed Lyft in San Francisco. So people are taking these things for a reason. For each person that says I will never be in an autonomous vehicle, there is 50 people who say I don't need the headache of a driver, clean car, good smelling car, drives better than a driver, no psychos, and they're going to take these. And at some point they're going to be a lot cheaper than Uber and Lyft. Period. So it's coming. So either you guys get used to this, or you guys kind of live in La La Land and say, hey, everything is fine. Well, and then we'll still be doing the show a year or 2 years from now, and you're gonna go, oh, my earnings are down 50% more. I'm like, yeah, we kind of talked about it. Anyway, Paul. All right, and next time you come on, please have a shirt on.
Make it a Bills jersey.
Yeah, make it a Bills jersey. So anyway, but yeah, man. I don't know. All I know is this is an important issue for you guys to understand and hopefully have a plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever it is that you're going to do.
Yep. I mean, they always say, I'm going to go back to like your finance aspect. What is the most common phrase that they always say about investing? The best day to start investing was yesterday. The next best day is today. So you know what? Writing is on the wall. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't going to like EVs coming in. I know I don't. In fact, I don't even like the self-checkout lanes. I don't go to self-checkout. In fact, if they're like at Home Depot or Lowe's, when they're like, oh, that's the only thing that's open, I said, no, I'm not going to them. So I want to be checked out. And they'll bring somebody to check you out. If they don't, then I just leave my stuff there and I walk away. So I said, oh, well, you screwed the sale out of that one because I won't go. So, I mean, sometimes it comes down to principle, but unfortunately, they're coming, whether you like it or not. Some areas, it's not going to be for quite a while, so you are going to have a much longer time frame between now and maybe a pivot point. While others are, you're on the brink of having to have a pivot point at this moment, because drivers in Austin and definitely San Francisco, you're getting screwed because you're not getting just Waymo, but you're also getting Tesla. So
that's going to be the key, right? That's going to be the key, Chris. When I'm not talking about these people's personal cars to be put on the network, because look, Elon is smoking crack when it comes to that. That all people are going to use their Ys because they're not unutilized 85% of the time while they're working at the car's going to get out of the parking lot, do some trips, and make them some money. It doesn't work. Or when they're sleeping, nobody's going to put their personal car on Elon's network so somebody can puke in it or have sex in it or whatever, and then go back in the morning for them to go to work. That's fantasy. But what is true is that those little gull-wing 2-door 2-seater ones that he promised, they're going to be about 25 to 30K, run about 25 cents a mile, and he's vertically integrated. So he's manufacturing the car, he has the network, he has the insurance taken care of, and you can buy 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 of them, literally, and then put them on Tesla network. Or at some point, I'm pretty sure Uber and Lyft and Tesla are going to go to bed, because Uber has the network. Uber has the most massive network. And they're going to put it on the Uber network, and they're going to fucking make money. And you guys don't want to make money? You guys don't want to make money while you're sleeping?
In the reality,
am I the only fucking idiot here?
In the absolute reality, I think Tesla does not need Uber.
Probably not.
I think Uber needs Tesla, bar none.
I think Tesla is going to be the biggest disruptor. Tesla, when it comes with these robocabs, they're going to disrupt Waymo, because Waymo cannot scale as fast as they would like to. Because
I'll tell you what, I am a fan of Optimus. Like I said, put on a Scarlett Johansson or Sydney Sweeney bodysuit on that, and I'm going to call her Rosie. For all you people who know that, Rosie is from the Jetsons. She was the robot in the Jetsons. So I am a fan of that, because there's a lot of things that can get done that you don't have to worry about when it comes to like the house stuff. So like cleaning, cooking, all that stuff, I enjoy doing it. But you know what? If I didn't have to, even better, because then that's more time with family. That's more time planning. There's more time doing different things. So I'm a fan of that.
Yep. So who showed up? Somebody showed up and they left. Okay.
And they left. All right. Either way. With that being said, great show. A lot of topics. Hopefully, you guys, you know what you would do if you have somebody coming in with food, especially during drunk hours. Whether it's a taco, whether it's pizza, whatever it might be. Oh, look who it is, Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
I'm back from my ban.
3 minutes, Jeff.
Real quick.
He's unbanned.
We don't have AVs here in South Florida, but I can tell you why that I'm not worried about them.
You're not worried about them? Okay.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things they can't do. They can't put luggage in the trunk of a car. They can't stop at a 7-Eleven if somebody wants a pack of cigarettes. They can't hold a conversation. And a lot of people like to talk to the drivers. So yes, is it gonna?
I will give you millennial. I will give you Gen Z or Gen Y and Boomer, and the later silence. But they're all fading out. Gen Z, they don't know how to talk. Actually, I saw a report that says most people are scared to get out and pump their own gas. They're nervous about pumping their gas because that generation has absolutely failed. So unfortunately, I'll give you the people like to talk that way. But when it comes to these Waymos, I think Gen Z is going to absolutely eat them up because they don't have to deal with people.
But that's not my client base anyway. I understand I'm not the prototypical driver, but
no. I mean, but I know Florida is a different market, but the data suggests that even with limited scale, the cities that they're in is really, really killing driver earnings. So all we're saying is we're just giving a heads up. We're not saying it's going to be a hybrid network. Obviously, drivers are always going to be needed, but as many drivers as we have, long term, you got to have a plan. Now,
I
like
agree.
you're doing your thing, creating a client base, going private trips and all that stuff. Yeah, wonderful.
And
But a
I
lot of
agree.
drivers are not
Honestly,
thinking
that
about
that
it.
will probably benefit you greatly too when it comes to it, because you're going to have the people, especially building now. Like you're doing that transfer. You've been doing it for a while to take Uber and Lyft clients, bring them to you, especially those ones that you like, and then they like you. So that definitely helps out on top of it, because those people might not want to deal with Uber and Lyft. They might not want to deal with AVs. So it definitely can benefit you and any other driver who wants to do private rides as well. As long as they're doing following the right way, so they don't get screwed down the road. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have a good pivot point there. So that still is a pivot point.
But it's not only private rides, Chris. I saw your video on Wings. The onboarding process was lengthy, but I've done over 250 NEMT trips. I do Spark. I really just use Uber and Lyft as marketing. I take airport reservations at any level that I know are from a residential address. And, but I have more clients than I can handle. My son has even started helping me out driving one of my other vehicles because of overload. And I'm just saying, yes, they're going to put a dent in it. It's just like if you own a restaurant and another restaurant opens next door. Doesn't mean you're going to go out of business. You just have to try to find ways to make what you offer a rider unique to what a Waymo does. Like if a lane's closed for construction or there's an accident, a human can get around that. And if somebody's going to the airport, it might take Waymo a little while to redirect.
But Jeff, those are like very small problems, which solvable problems by technology. Number two, what will happen? You know this as well as I do. Ultimately, the most important thing for a rider is the price. Okay.
Correct.
When you get rid of the, let's say, driver's 50% share and price trips that are literally 50% less than Ubers and Lyfts, nobody will get in a car with a driver. Nobody. And Uber, Lyft, they're trying to get rid of it, the driver, because of that unit economics. I mean, 50% they're going to save automatically.
So you know what's going to happen? The first to go are going to be people in your union, the CPU, because there won't be anything to cherry pick, right?
Yeah, or possibly.
Right. And it'll thin out the market. And the drivers who just want to complain instead of trying to find solutions to roadblocks that are put in front of them, they'll be challenged. And so will I, But in another 2 years, I can collect Social Security. So I can do this and collect Social Security.
No, I get that. Look, your case is very different than most people's, and you have a business mind, and you do your thing, and you pivoted and adjusted and adapted. But I don't think the majority is in your shoes, and
You're right.
I would like them to be.
I would like
them to be in your shoes. I would like them to be in your shoes, but they're not.
Good business principles never change. And
no, I get that.
To my friend Mike Smith, if you're only on your plan B and you've been doing ride sharing for 5 years, you should be up to plan X or plan Y by now, because the writing's been on the wall since it went from 80-20 split to where it is now. So people who aren't already on their plan X or plan Y are late to the game. You have to use them to your benefit. There's always going to be a market out there for great service, clean cars, polite drivers. And I'm just saying, it's not going to be easy. Nothing in life is, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, we didn't block you, by the way. Somebody did.
I know you didn't, but that's okay. I know nothing about computers, and I got around it by using my other Google.
You'll be the last person we put in timeout. All right, good to see you. You look like
I thought my wife was the moderator, because I sure get put in timeout a lot at home.
Oh, she's the moderator at home. There you go.
Have a good night.
All right, thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. I'm used to doing this now for my show.
I'm just gonna leave it to you then.
Okay, hold on.
Producer now.
Anyway, folks. Look, man, Chris. Seriously, all we're trying to do is give you guys a heads up. It's time to wake up.
Look, hey, Jeff made the pivot, and good for him.
Yep.
He did private rides. I know Mike does private rides. I know a couple other people do, and that can be a good pivot.
Drivers are always going to be needed.
I know, though, that a lot of drivers are not going to go that route. They're going to stick their head in the sand and it is what it is. But the problem is with that, it's going to become a time where it's going to come to your market and eat your profits. Like I said, those drivers where AVs are currently, you already got to start pivoting. You already got to figure out some plan B, and you got to start action. The others have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
You got a little bit more time.
Sure.
That's better. You got more time. So that means you could potentially work on a side hustle, find a side hustle, figure something out, figure it out, and start building it. And then once this ends, well, you got, or before it even ends, hey, you could
I'm
do
even, look,
something
you know
else.
what, Chris, I even pivoted the way I write on the blog now.
Mhm.
Like, I don't write anymore. Take a screenshot. Oh, look at this trick. Look at that trick. I don't even do that. Now I'm actually pivoting on the blog to write more about education, more about the possibilities of a pivot, how you can pivot, how you can get out of this game if AVs are coming in your city. And before earnings drop 50% and your utilization drops another 30% on top of, if you're a cherry picker especially, I'm just trying to warn you guys that this is, it's coming. And drivers are always going to be needed. But all I'm saying to you guys is, if this is the only thing you can do,
Here's
if
the
you think
problem.
this is the only thing you can do, then I don't know.
Here's the
But
problem.
I don't think it is.
Drivers will always be needed, but not every driver that's on the platform will be needed.
Absolutely.
So again, it's called the pre-warning. But again, there's a lot of surface level thinkers out there that say, and stick their head in the sand. And you know what? When that time comes and you're like, my earnings are down, and they continue.
Here it goes.
At that point, we're just going to say, told you so.
Actually, this was the gentleman who I think sent me the decline and recline AV thing. Okay. He's from San Francisco. And there you go. I've taken 5 Tesla robotaxi rides, and they're all 75% of Uber. And they drive as well or better than you.
Yeah, but the thing is, he has the ability to do that. Waymo can't. That's why Waymo is higher. That's why they have these partnerships. Well, Tesla, on the other hand, they can absolutely come in and undercut, because it's not just the robotaxi. It's the cars. It's the ability to offset things. And then, once they are actually able to bring the cost down, they might bring it down slowly. They might not. They could go 50% of cost and still have a $25,000 car out there. They could go to 25 cents a mile. Maybe they go to 50 cents a mile. Either way, it's still going to be much cheaper than Uber and Lyft, and it's going to destroy them.
Well,
disruptors were meant to be disrupted, and it's only going to happen faster and faster.
Yeah, but unless they go buy 10,000 of these Teslas and become a vertically integrated business model versus.
Oh, that's the only way too.
Look, there's many ways. All I'm saying is I'm trying to keep you guys awake. I'm trying to keep you guys engaged. I'm trying to have you guys think. Start thinking. Because I cannot believe any human can say to me, "This is the only thing I can do," which is rideshare. No, I don't believe it. I don't. I just don't.
It's the easiest thing to do. Because you literally, when it comes down to it, you're picking somebody up, dropping them off, and you're signing on to an app that automatically dispatches rides to you. Whether you want more or not, whether you're getting paid not, whether you're making bonuses not, that's all ancillary. The main focus is you're picking somebody up, you're dropping them off, and it's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing to get started on. As long as you have a car or can rent a car or whatever, you hit the requirements and the criteria that is met by Uber and Lyft, you can get on the platforms. Simple, easy.
For sure. Anyway, so good show. Enjoyed it. Please go subscribe to our newsletter. Check out the newsletter, www.therideshareguy.com. It's free.
And smash that link.
What?
Smash it. Click it.
What did you say? Huh? Yeah. Sergio, what's the OPEX AVs? I don't know what that means. Yeah, see, these are the things that I just see and then breaks my heart. Yeah, AVs are small. Okay. All right. Okay, cool.
Okay, that's for now. Don't you think that they're going to start putting bigger ones?
I guess he hasn't seen the VW buses that Uber is going to bed with for autonomous vehicles, or he hasn't seen Zooks, or he hasn't seen Oh my God. Anyway, you know what? You can take the horse to the water, buddy, but you can't make him drink it.
Yep. All right. With that being said, you guys have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you next week. Enjoy. Go Bills.
Go Bills.